Echoes of a dark October night when the waters of Lekki turned red, covered in the blood of young protesting Nigerians seeking an end to police brutality.
Sit down. This is a sign of gunshots, and we don't care, but God is our protector.
Raise your flag, the chorus, when the armed military men came in and started firing in different directions, including directly at the protesters who were only armed with the green, white, green symbol of Nigeria, their country for which they sought a better deal.
Sit down. Sit down.
The female voice in that clip is that of Dabira, a witness and survivor of the incident of the night.
From nowhere I heard bah. We all heard it like gunshots. It was loud. It was huge. So we felt, oh, they want to scare us and they are shooting in the air.
No, it wasn't just a move to scare them. It was more serious than that.
They were just shooting directly at those people as they were running and trying to take cover and then shooting up. And I'm like, this is not a joke. I was still holding the public address system. So I turned back to the crowd and I'm like, please, everybody, don't run. Raise your flags. Just keep chanting the national anthem. Don't run. Sit down. Don't even be on the... Because, you know, they were standing. So we felt if we were sitting down, that would be a sober position for us. And they won't even shoot us because we're harmless. We had nothing.
While Dabira and others are here to recount their experiences of the night, others weren't that lucky. And the act of some of them at that scary moment remains an untold story of bravery.
I knew I will be hit because I was the one at the edge shielding other people, you know. But I didn't know when it would come. It was just a hand, you know. And DJ Swiss was like, what do we do? What do we do? She took her phone and she was sitting beside me earlier. And she took her phone. She wanted to get up. I'm like, don't get up. People are up and they are falling. Don't get. She was like, no, if this is all that I have to do, let me do it. So she took her hand from me and then she went videoing. And then the guy saw me and said, oh, just you people were the ones that stood with us. So he came like to want to give me shit because I was just at the tail. I mean, I was at the edge. I was vulnerable. Like this, I'm looking at them like this and they are shooting. And the guy came and it was like, and I was looking from under the truck and I saw them coming so close and they were shooting. Like these ones, they were not about to stop anytime soon. And the guy came and said, Mama. He just said, Mama. And he wanted to take my place. Like he was about, he didn't even sit beside me completely. He has not come down and he said, bullets don't eat me. And then I looked at his hand. I saw blood and his intestines started coming out. And I'm like, God, relax, don't talk. He was like, please, don't let us die in vain. That was his last word.
Many more died and others sustained gunshot injuries. Despite the images of the shooting being well captured on cameras, there were initial official denials and even sanctions on TV channels that aired the pictures, including Arise News.
The panel has, as we've seen, submitted 2 sets of reports, one being a consolidated report on general police brutality cases, which is by the panel, and another report specific on the report of the Lekki incident investigation of 20th October 2020.
1 year has gone past, but this event where the Lagos State Governor received the report of a panel that investigated the matter and other acts of police brutality is significant to the incidents. The report submitted by the investigative panel confirmed that indeed the armless protesters were shot, killed and maimed without any provocation, an act which it likened to a massacre. Officers of the Nigerian army shot, injured and killed unarmed, helpless and defenseless protesters without provocation or justification, while they were waving the Nigerian flag and singing the national anthem, and the manner of assault and killing could in context be described as a massacre. The panel also found that the conduct of the Nigerian army was exacerbated by its refusal to allow ambulances render medical assistance to victims who required such assistance. Part of the report, which also exposes official cover-up, said,
we weren't expecting. We were thinking it would be the other way around for us. And for me, I feel like burden moved from my heart because I've met with people that still have doubts that it ever happened.
We seek more survivors, including 24-year-old Lekki, the man you saw in an earlier image lying at the hospital with bullet lodged in his leg. This is Lekki now, with permanent damage to his body 1 year after he was hit in the bullet rain of October 20, 2020. That's me lying on the hospital bed after I was shot and rushed for medical attention, he says to me. He looks back at the events of that night and still finds it hard to believe that such force was meted out to them by the security forces. I was sitting down raising my flag but felt the shooting was intense. So I decided to move to safety. It was at that moment that I realized I had been hit in my right leg. People who tried to rescue me were also being careful because everyone was trying to get away from the scene. I was eventually rushed to the hospital after some time. Like others, the official denial left him heartbroken and it worsened his pains, but he now feels some relief that there is an official admission of the shooting. Nicholas Okpe here was also hit on the night with a bullet penetrating his right chest. The doctors revived him after several days in the hospital.
They were just shooting until one bullet touched me and I see my blood splash on the barricade. On my right hand side of my chest. And I was just like, I've been hit by a bullet. And the blood keeps gushing out.
I asked him what was going on in his mind, hearing officials denying that live bullets were deployed by soldiers on the night.
I feel being shot the second time when I heard that. I feel being shot the second time, but that denial. Because that denial knows that it's a liar.
Dabira, Lekki, Nicholas, like several others who witnessed and survived the Lekki shooting, say they now have some burden taken off them.
I really appreciate the persons that were unpicked for that panel. I'm sure they were expecting them to do the much that they did.
I feel so glad, one, for receiving that report that even they accept, they agree that the people die.
But they still demand ultimate justice, not just for themselves, but for their fellow young Nigerians who paid with their lives for the protest.
We just want the fact that we are in a society where we can trust the people that we put in the place of power and them not being monsters to us. That we now begin to fight one another to get what we want. But the fact that it came out from the same panel that they set up for us is a relief. Them now concluding it, ensuring, perfecting it, and then, if possible, address the people involved, the people that have been affected. That will heal so many things. That can recall back a lot of errors. You know, there's nothing that sorry can't fix.
Though the echo of the frightening sound of the night of October 20, 2020, they admit sometimes gives them some shivers, the young Nigerians still retain their faith in their country, but seek a nation that works for all, promoting equal rights and justice, and that adequately protects its citizens.